All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started for our 11:30 session. Thank you for joining us. I'm Melissa DeSimone, the Executive Director of Michigan Lakes and Streams Association. Hopefully we have been in sessions together earlier today. This is our keynote session. It will include a look at MLSA over the past 60 years. It will also include some award presentations and our keynote address as well. So thank you very much for joining us, and we hope that you will enjoy this presentation. I want to make a couple of announcements before we get started. First of all, if you were in the Eagle session this morning, I know that there were quite a lot of questions that did not get answered. I am in the process of following up with Eagle. You are welcome to follow up with the speakers yourself if there was something specific you wanted to talk with them about and you had their email address. But we are looking at possibly having a follow-up session with them. And also, if you were in the session just now with Conan Smith of the Michigan Environmental Council, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty and that was ended early. I have had some people ask me about his 3 priorities because he was just about to say them before we had the Zoom outage. So we will also have a follow-up with the Michigan Environmental Council. So really glad that there was interest in those sessions and that we can provide that for you at a future date. So make sure that you keep your eye out for that coming up. So I am going to hand the virtual stage over. We have first Mike Gallagher, our treasurer. He's going to talk about MLSA for the past 60 years. And then after that, we'll hand it over to Dave Maturin, our president. Okay, I am going to stop sharing. And Mike, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Let's see, share. Okay, I'm almost there, Melissa.
Great, Mike.
Do you see it?
Not yet.
No.
Can you maybe just turn the volume down on your computer a little bit?
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you.
Okay. Let's go. Well, Melissa, I'm having some real trouble getting let's go this way.
There we go.
You see it now?
We do.
Okay. Now, for my notes. Oh, boy. Are you seeing, Melissa, please tell me what you're seeing.
I am seeing your slides just as you intended.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, how about now? Do you still see the slides?
Yes, we do.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome, everybody. And thanks for being patient with me as I found the screen so that you could see and hear what I'm going to say. Thanks for joining us today at MLSA's 60th anniversary. I have a little MLSA history for you, and I hope it's some stuff that you don't know about. Now let's, okay. It all started with this gentleman on the screen, Dr. Clifford Humphrey. And he had some concerns about Michigan inland lakes. So he got a bunch of people that he thought were passionate about inland lakes, and he called them into a meeting in 1961. And they talked about lots of different things. And it was the start of MLSA right there at that meeting. 5 years later, in 1966, the organization had grown to 52 local lake association members. And there were a whole bunch of volunteers that stepped forward to lead the organization over the years. Many of you people, oh, your screen is not changing there, okay. Go this way, okay. Many of you folks might remember some of these people back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s who were presidents of MLSA. Right now, our current president down here at the bottom of the list is Dave Maturin. I know he's in the audience. And all those presidents and the boards were directed by a mission statement. And ours today is to protect and enhance natural resources directly associated with inland lakes, groundwaters, and water-related habitats of the state of Michigan. And we had to figure out a way to protect those lakes, and it meant that we had to get in touch with members and educate members. So we thought, gee whiz, what's a good way to do that? Well, why not put a magazine together and write educational articles about inland lakes? That's how the Michigan Riparian magazine started. And it started in 1965. There were a lot of people that did a ton of work on producing that magazine. And I'm sure you're familiar with many of them that are listed right here. One of them that a whole lot of you knew, and he touched a lot of us with his help on in the lakes and streams in Michigan, was Don Winnie. He came on board in about 1979 and then became the executive director in 1992, and he retired in 2009. And you see here one of the Michigan Riparian magazines that he was on the cover. He was followed by Scott Brown as the executive director from Grass Lake, and he filled that position from 2009 to 2018. And you see Scott here on the left presenting one of the many presentations that he gave to volunteers that had done extraordinary things for the inland lakes of Michigan and for MLSA. And Scott was followed by a super volunteer that I met a few years ago, and I was so happy to meet Melissa DeSimone and her husband, Craig, and she came right on and helped out at our last live convention in 2019. And so since 2019, she's been the executive director. And as my grandson would say, she'll be the executive director from 2019 to infinity and beyond. Another way that we educate or hope to educate the members and the people who love inland lakes in Michigan is we have an annual conference. And since 1961, it's been live every year up till 2019. And 2019 was a great time. A lot of us got to know each other even better, a lot of socializing, a lot of education. And we're going to do it again next year, May 6th and 7th, up at Crystal Mountain Resort. Please mark your calendars. And you know, we do lots of education, but lots of training up there also. And the CLMP, Cooperative Lakes Monitoring Program, all the training is usually done at the MLSA annual conference. It happened yesterday, and they had a huge turnout, bigger than we've ever had before. And CLMP kicked off its registration just 2 days ago. So if you haven't signed up to volunteer for CLMP, go to our website or the MyCore website, and you'll see the registration page right there. We've got a new program this year, a new contract. It'll go for 5 years, and you'll see some new things, especially with the website and the data. But one thing that hasn't changed is Gene Roth is still with us doing the administration of CLMP. And Gene probably knows more people than anybody that live on inland lakes in Michigan. And we are so happy to have her doing this again. She does just a fantastic job. Did you know that over 1,000 lakes over the years have participated with this Cooperative Lakes Monitoring Program? We're not at 1,000 right now, but we can grow it back up to 1,000 over the next 5 years, we hope. Another way MLSA participates in educating members is we help out the Lakes and Streams Leaders Institute. And that institute is led by Dr. Joe Lattimore, that you all know, I'm sure, and her group that educates lake leaders every other year. I participated in that program. It was fantastic. I'd encourage you to sign up one of these years. We also have, with MLSA, a Science Advisory Committee. And, you know, volunteers make up most of MLSA, but we need some scientists, some experts to help us along with stuff we just don't know. And we're lucky to have Dr. Jennifer Jermolowitz-Jones on our board, and she heads the Science Advisory Committee. Jennifer also writes numerous articles for the Riparian magazine. And when we've got a technical question, she's the one that we go to. And if she doesn't have the answer, she's able to figure it out. So we also educate our members, but we try to educate people that might become experts later on, students that might think of being a limnologist someday. So we provide scholarships with McNelms, the Michigan chapter of North American Lake Management Society. We just wrote a check for $2,000 for that scholarship 2 days ago. And then we also write 2 scholarships for the Megan Cook scholarships. Now, you know, with education, books and education kind of go hand in hand. And so MLSA over the years has produced a good number of books and pamphlets and things that members and lake lovers can read to learn more about their lakes. One of my favorite ones is up there called Michigan Lake Association, the Nuts and Bolts. I used to take that to our Lake Association board meeting every time, because somebody had asked a question and we didn't know the answer. We could look it up and it was right there in the book. It's a real helpful thing. So if it's not books that you want to learn from, we've got a great website that was developed years ago, and it's been improved many times over the years. And it's at mymlsa.org. And I encourage you to take a peek there. It's pretty interesting, loads of information. And then the current stuff that we want to keep you up to date on comes out monthly on our e-newsletter. If you aren't on the mailing list, please either go to our website and sign up there, or call Melissa DeSimone and she'll get you right on that mailing list. There are well over 4,000 that get that newsletter each month. Okay, you can't end this without saying somebody else who helps educate us a ton about legal matters, and on inland lakes there's plenty of legal things to know, is Cliff Bloom. Cliff wrote that book, Michigan Lake Association's The Nuts and Bolts. He's written several others that are available on our website, and he's been writing for years and years and years in the Michigan Riparian magazine. And his article is called An Attorney Writes. They're really interesting. Did you know that our website gets hit lots of times every single day, but the page that most people go to is Cliff Bloom's articles. They can hunt through the archives to find those articles. And it gives you advice. It's free legal advice. I just love saying that. And Cliff gives that free advice through his articles. And you know, it's even other attorneys that go looking there to find out stuff. I suppose that they can charge their clients for. Thank you, Cliff. You're a huge help to a lot of us on Inland Lakes who need to know about legal matters. Okay, how are we doing now? That wraps it up. I gotta thank the MLSA members, the lake associations, the partners that we work with, the sponsors, volunteers, and educators. All of you make a huge difference, and MLSA is here for you, and it's because of you that we are here. Thanks so much. Back to you, Melissa.
That was great, Mike. Thank you very much for that. It's really, you know, it's really nice to be part of this organization that's been around for so long, and we owe that all to you, to the people in this meeting and the people who came before us that really care about the waters of Michigan. So thank you for joining us. And with that, and our yay MLSA, we are going to turn it over to our current president, Dave Maturin. He has some awards to give out. And I also did want to I did want to mention, Mike talked about the Megan E. Cook Memorial Scholarship. That is very important to us. It is a little bit delayed this year. We would normally be making that announcement as well. So you can check out our communications later on. We will definitely be sharing that with you soon.